So, guys, what's been the most exciting aspect of working on StarTours2Live.com? Have you guys had any kind of interaction with Lucas's people, or has Disney made any contact?
Yeah, we've actually the probably the best part about it has been the reaction we've gotten from really everyone across the board. We've had 15,000 page views as of the recording of this episode, but we've gotten obviously we've gotten great feedback from a lot of our fans, people we had never met before, but also we've gotten a lot of great feedback and support from a lot of the established Star Wars community out there. Star Wars, the Twitter account's been great; they've been very nice to us always. With the force.net sent us they had a great link to our site on their homepage, which was awesome. It was great. I mean, anytime you can get linked by from a mega site like the force.net, I mean, that's huge. And then the other day, actually, we were really surprised when we saw a retweet from the guys who do the Fanboys movie, and that was really, what was his name, Henry? I forgot the guy's name.
He was the director, and I've seen that movie many times. Kyle Newman,
There you
that's
go.
his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like actively like promoted us like twice on his Twitter account, telling Star Wars Twitter account, send more love our way. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the reaction we've gotten has just been unbelievable. So we're really thrilled that, I mean, you can always you think you have great ideas. You're in the shower and you're thinking, I got a great idea for something, right, in your mind. And then you go and like do it, or you're like, you tell, your wife, hey, let's go do this. And they're like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like, that's always the concern is that you have a really good idea, but in reality, it's not that good. It was just kind of a good idea in your mind. So far, it's been great. So we're thrilled that people have really responded to it so quickly.
All right, guys. So, what are some of the things that we can look forward to in the coming weeks? As we get closer to the launch. I know that there is a media event on May 19th, I believe. Anything beyond the launch, also?
Yeah, so we're sort of slowly sort of building out not only the functionality of our site and the usefulness of it, but we're definitely going to have a lot of sort of news. For one, we're going to be covering the news from now until then, and a lot more news is going to come out. We'll definitely hear rumors about when the soft openings are going to start in both parks. We're going to be doing a lot more on the ground coverage, so you'll see a lot more things from the parks, which we're excited about, and hopefully they'll look really good. We're definitely going to be launching details about our meetup that we're going to do, and we might do a few more coming up in the week, especially in Disney World. And we're also, one cool thing from Touring Plan side is that we're going to be having our statisticians who follow this stuff trying to give us the best sense of if you go 4 weeks after launch, or you're going in early June or whatever, or you're going to be there for the first Star Wars weekend when it launches, like what to expect in the crowds and how to best spend your time and how to actually get on the ride as many times as you want. So that's sort of, those are the things that I can say. Hotchberg, you want to take it over for the media event?
Yeah, there's going to be a media event on the 19th, which could be anything. I mean, they love to go nuts with these media events. I know that based on attending past media events for Disney attractions, I mean, you never can tell what they're gonna do. Actually, the real event that I'm anxiously looking forward to and afraid of at the same time is going to be on the official opening on the 20th. As of right now, they've only mentioned that there's going to be a dedication ceremony at 10 a.m. and I've got to imagine that's going to be a zoo over there. It's not a very open area when you get to Star Tours in Hollywood Studios, so I'm just foreseeing a mob scene over there, and I'm just hoping that we're going to be there. We have media credentials from Disney, and I'm hoping they're going to have a reserved area for the media, because it's just going to be, I mean, you've got Star Wars fans that are going to show up there pretty much when the park closes the day before anyway for Star Wars weekends. So combined with the opening of Star Tours, I mean, it's going to be maybe controlled chaos is probably the way to best describe it. So I'm excited. It's just going to be, I really don't know what to expect in terms of the crowds that we're going to see for that, but it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
So, can you guys tell me some of the key differences between the original Star Tours and the Star Tours, I guess, 2.0 that's opening up?
Yeah, well, there's major differences. It's still a simulator ride. The difference, though, being that, first of all, it's going to be in 3D. We're not sure. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be wearing glasses or goggles of some sort that will make it 3D. It's going to be also random, meaning before, old Star Tours was the same ride every single time you rode, right? You always went to Endor and got lost and ended up in the battle for the Death Star. In this one, in Star Tours 2, it's actually going to be random rides. In fact, Disney has reminded us many, many times that there's going to be over 54 possible scenarios that you could see
see, meaning it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, but it's going to be very difficult to see the same ride twice. The best way to describe it is if you can think of how the Tower of Terror is now, where they've randomized the ride sequence. Same idea. There's a bunch of different scenarios that you could possibly hit, and the computer randomizes it every single time. So that's going to be really cool. Those are the two big differences. You got some other geeky differences. Obviously, there's going to be a new storyline. There's 6 axis of movement now instead of 4 axes of movement for the simulator. New pre-show area. That we're assuming everything inside is going to be totally different.
No, so they're going to get rid of the conveyor belt thing with the robots?
I'll bet you it's all gone.
Oh, now I'm mad.
But we're gonna be able to visit a lot of different new places. Before, like I said, we only visited Endor and back at Star Tours headquarters or whatever. This time we'll be able to visit lots of different planets. The planets that we know for a fact that we're gonna be able to see are Tatooine, Coruscant, Kashyyyk, the unfinished Death Star space station, which is in orbit of Geonosis, Naboo, and Hoth.
The Star Wars franchise and Disney are definitely synonymous with the word innovation, to say the least. What kind of innovative and or unique features are we looking to see implemented in Star Tours 2?
I mean, definitely the 3D thing is probably going to be the most interesting thing, and the randomization, right? I was actually there when they announced Star Tours 2 at the D23 Expo in 2009. They showed this whole pod racing scene in 3D. They gave everyone 3D glasses, and, we got to see the scene, and it looked really cool. There is some question about whether or not they can pull off the motion simulator plus 3D. Like, will that cause too much motion sickness? There's actually a report that we put on from Al Lutz from Ice Age that Disneyland was actually kind of worried about that it might be too motion sick. And then the real question is like, what kind of innovative sort of filming techniques do they use? Obviously, ILM is known for pushing the boundaries. I was also lucky enough to be at the Destination D event, which is a Disneyland event, official Disneyland event that they put on in September of this year. And Tom Fitzgerald, who worked on the original attraction, talked a lot about how it was really hard to film Star Tours because when you think about it, it's a simulator, but it can only go left and it can go right. It can't do like full 360s or anything like that. It's sort of pivoting on this weird axis. And so like when you pan left, like when the ship goes left, it at some point has to come back right. You know what I mean? It can't just keep going left because they can't make that work on the simulator basis. And so obviously they have these limitations from the ride vehicle system and stuff like that. I have no idea how to answer that question properly. It's really hard to tell what is really going to be, the really big thing. But I got to imagine motion simulator combined with 3D stuff can only be cool. And it almost reminds me of a ride I'm sure you guys have been on, the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. I mean, it's a different ride vehicle system, but still, it's combining motion and 3D, two really cool things. So that's going to be pretty cool how they pull it off.
All right, Henry and Matt, any differences between the Florida and California version?
So I don't think there'll be any difference with the actual ride itself. There will be some differences just in terms of like the building and the way it works and sort of the whole experience. I mean, Al Lutz did report that Disneyland is spending a bit more money to try to really deck out their gift shop and the sort of the post queue situation. Also to try to increase capacity. One other basic difference is that Disney World has 6 simulators, whereas Disneyland only has 4. So Disneyland is going to try to pull out all these tricks just to add capacity. One thing that they did in Disneyland also is that previously Star Tours didn't have fast passes, and now they closed the fast pass booth on the other side of Tomorrowland, which has Buzz Lightyear, which is sort of just across from Star Tours, and they're converting those fast pass booths into Star Tours fast passes, so that it's sort of at least you'll be able to do fast pass at least when the attraction opens. Who knows how long they'll keep doing that? Any other differences? I don't think so. I mean, the just the buildings and the whole queue and especially the pre-queue is different. Actually, that's something that Tom Fitzgerald talked about in Destination D. Like, apparently Disneyland, well, I've been to Disneyland Paris and their Star Tours setup is pretty cool, but apparently Tokyo's intro queue situation is wild. They like really spent a lot of money on that queue, and there's some pictures of it online and it looks really awesome. Interestingly, Paris and Tokyo, which have Star Tours attractions, aren't going to be changed over at all. Or at least there's no rumors that they're going to be changed yet. So at least we're lucky stateside that we're getting a change at all.
So when can we expect the attractions to open, both in Florida and California? And will there be any soft openings or any events for annual pass holders?
I'm glad you asked that, Mike.
Ooh.
In Disney World, the official opening is May 20th. Whenever Disney opens attractions, there's always some sort of a soft opening ride preview before. Now, how big that window is, we don't know. To give you perspective, for Toy Story Midway Mania, which opened in 2008, they had at least a month worth of. First, it was a cast member previews, and then they had annual pass previews, and they just basically it was open for most of the time. It wasn't officially open, but it was open for guests in general, and that was about a month's worth. We're thinking though that we have no idea, and we're just guessing here. We haven't heard too many rumors saying like, they're woefully behind. Nothing to indicate that they're either behind or ahead of schedule. If anything, I think they're probably just on schedule. I would be shocked if 2 weeks before Star Tours opens on May 20th, we don't have soft openings going on of some sort. I would expect that we would see an annual pass preview. I would expect to see maybe even a D23 ride preview. They did obviously the closing for D23, so perhaps they do one again for the opening. Like I said, I would say really anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks is what I would consider the window of possibilities. But that's just honestly, it's speculation on our part. Henry, what about Disneyland?
Yeah, so the two sources for Disneyland that you should definitely look at are Mice Age, Al Lutz, and also Mouse Planet with Adrienne Vincent Fox and AVP, as they know her. She says that the soft opening previews are going to start May 20th in Disneyland. The official opening is on June 3rd. The soft opening will continue on Saturday, May 21st, with the AP preview starting on May 22nd. And she says this is from reliable sources, but reliable rumor. But, please don't, get any travel plans based on that because, it's always not official from Disney. Al Lutz is just reported, actually. We should add this to the site. Official cast member previews for Star Tours 2.0 are scheduled for May 16th through May 17th. May 19th, and then soft opening should start right after that. So that's sort of the word on Disneyland. It's about 2 weeks, ahead of their official opening.
Matt, Henry, really appreciate you guys sitting with us and answering our questions. I'm sure the fans are going to appreciate it. They're going to get a lot of information. Everybody's excited about this ride. I know we're excited about it. We're also excited about your website too, StarTours2Live.com. So everybody check it out. And again, thank you guys for sitting down with us.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you inviting us to come on.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. This is a lot of fun.